Hello, good day everyone. So welcome to another chapter in governance. We have here our second topic, which will focus on the practical guidelines in reducing and managing business risk. So last lecture, we talked about the risk management, diba? And now we'll talk about the guidelines on how to reduce and manage those business risks. So here, okay, we have to understand the nature of risk. Okay, bakit mahalaga na malaman natin kung ano yung nature ng isang risk? Kasi when we know what is the nature of risk, we will have an opportunity, okay, opportunity to know kung ano yung mga risk na ito, okay, and if we know what are these risks and we accept, okay, we accept these risks and we apply risk management, we'll be able to achieve our goal. Bakit tinawag siyang opportunity? Because, 'di ba kung titignan mo sa isang business, kapag nakita mo agad in the earlier phase of the risk, na nakita mo siya agad nang hindi pa malala, then 'di ba, meron kang opportunity to prevent or mag-apply ng tinatawag nating mga controls, preventive controls, 'di ba? Ibig sabihin, maaga pa lang maagapan mo na, mabibigyan mo na ng solution yung ating risk na iyon. Yun nga, early detection will be able to have these preventive controls, 'di ba? In order to uh, apply, 'di ba, yung ating possible solution in order to uh, avoid, to mitigate or reduce its impact. Yun nga, isa din sa tinitignan natin is one should be able to understand the risk. Bakit mahalaga na kailangan ma-understand yung isang risk? Because it will help us to formulate strategies, di ba? Formulate strategies in order to avoid, mitigate, or reduce the impact of that risk. And the starting point for every business is to accept, diba? Accept that risk exists is a starting point for the other actions needed. Unang-una pa lang dapat i-accept mo na yung risk. Kasi kung hindi mo in-accept na meron talagang risk, then hindi ka makakapag-formulate ng mga strategies. So, i-accept mo na merong risk, nag-i-exist talaga itong risk na ito. And then, after mo ma-identify, i-accept yung risk na yon is you should understand why control systems are needed. Bakit kailangan ng control? Yun nga, para ma-prevent, ma-avoid, ma-mitigate, ma-reduce yung impact. Kasi kung hayaan mo lang yung isang risk na mag-exist, it may lead to a greater problems, 'di ba? Na magko-cause ng negative impact sa ating business, not only for business but also for our organization. Okay, and then we'll identify and prioritize risk. So identification of significant risk, take note significant. Ibig sabihin ng significant is yung mga mahalagang risk. Kasi nga, though madami tayong risk, hindi naman lahat ng risk is significant. Merong low risk, di ba? Meron ding high or material risk. And we should also consider both, di ba? Both within and outside the organization. Hindi lang pwedeng risk lang na puro sa department mo lang, puro lang sa loob ng company. How about those risks outside the company? Yung tinatawag nating external, di ba? External source, external risk na may impact din sa ating business. So this will make for you easier to avoid unnecessary surprises, 'di ba? 'Yun ang tinitingnan natin. Kasi kung nagfo-focus lang tayo sa mga risk inside the organization, inside the business, paano kung may mga mangyaring unexpected? So, pag nagkaroon ng unexpected na surprise tayo, hindi pala tayo ready, then possible na malaki yung impact sa ating business. Particularly, ito, yung mga customer, di ba, loss of a major customer, failure of a key supplier, or the appearance of significant competitor. May mga bigla palang sumulpot na competitor, nagtayo ng bagong company, tapos maganda pala yung product niya, hindi tayo nakapag-ready, bumagsak yung ating sales, 'di ba? Aside from that, ano pa? Yung ating environment, 'di ba? Um, environmental risk, bumaha sa dagupan, 'di ba? Hindi tayo nakapag-ready, na madaming nasirang material supplies sa ating company. So, 'yun ang dapat nating tinitignan within and outside the organization. And then risk surrounds and continues to be with us. Okay, a former British Prime Minister once said, "To be alive at all involves some risk." Okay, ibig sabihin, normal na meron tayong risk. When identifying risk, it helps to define as categories into which they fall. So, may mga categories yung ating mga risk. This will allow a more structured analysis and reduces the chances of a risk being overlooked. Okay, dapat alam natin kung saan nagfo-fall, saang category or anong department, um, anong phase ng ating business ay itong risk na ito is nakakaapekto. For example, here in table 12.1, we have the typical areas of organizational risk. We have financial, commercial, strategic, technical, and operational. So let's have one example for each. No? For example, financial risk. Okay, andyan yung inefficient cash management. Ano nangyayari? Possible na yung nagre-receive ng cash, siya rin yung nagre-record, siya rin yung nagre-reconcile. So possible magkaroon ng uh, ano doon, magkakaroon ng theft, 'di ba? Prone to theft ang ating cash kasi siya yung pinaka-liquid. So, papasok diyan yung ating proper authorization, recording, and custody. Ibig sabihin, kung sino yung mag-authorize na authorize na mag-receive ng pera, 'di ba? Kung sino yung magre-record at sino yung magka-keep magki-keep ng ating cash. So, dapat hindi magkakasama yan. Kasi kung ikaw yung nag-record, ikaw din yung nagtago ng cash, so possible, may hindi ka i-record doon sa ating record, okay, sa ating balance sheet, hindi mo i-record yung isang transaction, pero nasa iyo yung pera. So, possible yun. Mananakawan tayo doon. So, dapat hiwalay. Para, in the end, magkaroon tayo ng bank reconciliation. Pag nagkaroon ng bank reconciliation, makikita kung saan transaction, yung hindi na-record, di ba? Next is yung commercial. Commercial, example dyan, failure to comply with the legal regulations or codes of practice. Siyempre may mga sinusunod tayong rules and regulations, particularly with the government. So kung hindi natin masunod yun, then possible na meron tayong provisions, di ba? Provisions or penalties with the government. Next is strategic, di ba? Pag sinabing strategic, papasok dyan yung ating marketing. Okay? And then, kung magkaroon man ng market changes like commercial decisions due to customers or competitors, di ba? Dapat ready tayo. Meron tayong strategy, marketing strategy na pag may pumasok na bagong competitor, nawalan tayo ng customers, dapat meron tayong bagong promotion, di ba? Marketing strategy na gagawin natin para maibalik natin yung nawalang customer sa atin. Technical, okay? Failure of a plant or equipment. Siyempre, mahalaga din yung ating mga equipment kasi kung sira yung ating plant, sira yung ating equipment, hindi natin maproduce yung ating product. And then, operational, okay? So, operations, yung mga product or design failure, di ba? Kapag nagkaroon ng product or design failure, wala tayong product, hindi magiging smooth yung ating operations, di ba? Mawawala yung ating supply, yung tinatawag natin. Next is consider the acceptable level of risk. So may tinatawag tayong acceptable level of risk. Though in-accept na natin sa ating sarili na meron tayong risk, merong level of risk na acceptable or tolerable. Yun yung tinitingnan natin yung nature, extent, and yung effect. Pag sinabi nating nature, what kind, or what are the areas of the business are affected? Anong kind ng risk itong naka-affect sa atin? Is it marketing risk, financial risk, di ba? Extent, gaano kalawak, gaano ka-severe yung damage or impact ng isang business ay yung isang risk. And when you say effect, kung may effect, syempre may cause. What are the causes kung bakit ganito yung effect sa atin? So yun ang alamin natin when it comes to risk management. And sabi nga, sometimes the greatest risk is to do nothing. Kasi nga, may mga risk na talagang hindi nating mapiprevent, diba? Ma-avoid. Okay? At kapag minsan, kapag gumawa tayo ng ating decision, marami tayong kino-consider kasi nga kung mali yung ating decision, okay, the more na magiging severe o mas lalala yung isang problem, yung isang risk. And sometimes, 'di ba, sabi nga nila, the greater the risk, the greater the return. So, kung i-avoid mo yung risk, possible ang mangyayari doon, mababa din yung return. So, yun ang titingnan mo. Ayaw mo din mangyari yun, 'di ba? Ayaw din nating mangyari na totally alisin natin yung risk. So, pag inalis totally yung risk, hindi tayo 'Di ba may tinatawag tayong mga risk takers, so hindi tayo nag-take ng risk, possible wala ng return sa atin na mangyayari. So ayaw din naman natin na wala tayong profit, 'di ba, walang return na babalik sa atin. And then we should understand why risks become a reality. So once risks are identified, they can be ranked according to their potential impact and the likelihood of them occurring. So, okay, dapat alam din natin kung ano yung pwedeng mangyari, what things might go wrong, and what other impact would be. And then we have here the five most significant types of risk catalysts. We have, una, technology. Kailan nagkakaroon ng risk sa technology? Kapag mayroong bagong new hardware, software, or system. Ano example niyan? Best example is AI. Diba? New technology yan. Anong mangyayari kung lahat i-implement ng AI? Job layoff. Maraming mawawalan ng trabaho kapag nag-focus tayo sa AI. Talagang kung AI lahat na nagpapagalaw, pwedeng mawala na yung ibang jobs like customer representative, 'di ba? Yung mga tutor kasi AI na lahat eh. I-search mo lang sa internet, andyan na lahat. So, yung mga tutor natin, yung mga assistant natin, no need na kasi nga pwedeng one click away, masasagot na yung mga tanong. Next is organizational change. Kapag nagkaroon ng bagong policy, new management, siyempre bagong rules and regulation, mababago yung organization. Okay? Kung dati loose policy, ngayon stricter na. Okay, mga ganyan. Next is processes. Kung nagkaroon ng new products, new market, new acquisition, okay? Magkaroon ng competitors, 'di ba? Kung may competitors, new marketing strategy, new products, bagong process naman na aaralin ng company. People, 'di ba? Hiring new people, losing key people, poor succession planning, 'di ba? Okay, example niyan, corruption among government employees. Kung same people, paulit-ulit na sila yung nandun, hindi napapalitan, walang routine, anong tawag doon? Walang, anong tawag yung iikot yung ano, kailangan umikot yung roles nila, di ba? So, kung same people yung naghahawak ng isang task, okay, paulit-ulit na ganon, possible, mamaster niya na yung fraud, mamaster niya na yung paggawa ng anomaly. Next, external factors like COVID-19, regulation, and political, di ba? So, dapat ikinoconsider natin, like what I have said earlier, na may mga, not only for internal source, but also for external source of risk. And we have here apply a simple risk management process. The stages of managing the enterprise-wide risk inherent in decisions are simple. First, you should assess. Assess mo, i-analyze mo yung risk. Okay? When it comes, before, um, ano yung mga risk doon sa isang particular decision mo. And then after you assess and analyze the risk, second, you should consider how best to avoid and mitigate them. Ano yung mga possible courses of action na gagawin mo to avoid and mitigate. When we say mitigate, less, okay? Bawasan yung magiging impact sa ating business. And third, in parallel with the second stage, take action to manage, control, and monitor the risks. Okay? Hindi lang pwedeng i-avoid, hindi lang pwedeng mitigate, hindi lang pwedeng assess, dapat you should take also an action. Okay, on how to solve, on um how to mitigate, you know, 'di ba? I-implement natin yung action and then also monitor um if the actions are if the actions being implemented are talagang gumagana, talagang effective. Okay? That would be the part 1 of our discussion for the practical guidelines, okay? Practical guidelines in reducing and managing business risk. See you on the next video lecture.